You know, we all think of artificial intelligence as this incredibly smart, powerful brain, right? It's just constantly learning from these massive oceans of data. But what if I told you that its greatest strength is also its biggest, most dangerous weakness? What if the very thing that makes AI so smart is also the easiest way to make it, well, not so smart? This right here, this is the absolute golden rule of AI. You can have the most sophisticated algorithm in the world, the most powerful computers, but none of it matters. It all boils down to one simple fact. If you put bad data in, you're going to get a bad model out. An AI doesn't have common sense, it has no intuition, it only knows what we feed it. The data isn't just part of the system, it is the system.
So that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? If bad data is the enemy trying to storm the castle, how do we defend our AI? Well, you wouldn't build a house with flimsy walls, right? No, you'd build a fortress. And that is exactly what we need to do for our data. We have to construct a fortress with multiple layers of defense to make sure that only the purest, most trustworthy information ever gets inside.
So building our fortress starts with the outer wall. This is our first and most fundamental layer of defense. It's called data cleansing. And its job sounds simple, but trust me, it is absolutely critical. It's all about keeping the obvious junk out. Think of this step like having guards posted at the very outer edge of your fortress. They're not looking for spies or sophisticated threats just yet. No, they're looking for the obvious troublemakers. They're tossing out duplicate entries that could totally bias the model, getting rid of corrupted files from a bad sensor, or just cleaning up messy records that don't make any sense. The whole goal here is to make sure the AI is learning from the real world, not from a sea of digital garbage. And you know what? This is a concept we all deal with every single day. Just think about your email spam filter. Its entire purpose is to catch the obvious junk, the scams, the ads, all that noise, and throw it out before it ever clutters up your inbox. Data cleansing is the exact same idea, but for your AI. It's getting rid of the garbage before it has a chance to do any real harm. And if you don't have this outer wall, the consequences are pretty severe. Your AI could start learning totally meaningless patterns from corrupted data. If you're building, say, a system to detect threats, its whole idea of what's normal gets polluted, making it basically useless. And worst of all, attackers can do this on purpose. They can just flood your system with junk. It's called a noise attack, specifically to disrupt and confuse your model from the very beginning. Okay, so our outer wall did its job. It stopped all the obvious junk. But what about data that looks clean, but is actually malicious? For that, we need to go a little deeper into our fortress, right up to the main gatekeeper. This is where we find our second layer of defense, data verification. Now, verification goes way beyond just cleaning. It starts asking much smarter questions. Like, okay, this data looks neat, but is it actually correct? Do we trust the source it came from? Has it been properly authenticated? Basically, our gatekeeper is stopping every piece of data and asking, are you real? Can I trust you? And are you even supposed to be here? A great parallel for this in cybersecurity is something called Identity and Access Management, or IAM. Think about it. When you log into a secure website, that system is checking your username and password to verify who you are. Data verification is doing the same thing, but for the data itself. It's asking for ID, it's checking to see if the data is who it claims to be, and if it's coming from a place we actually trust. Without this gatekeeper, attackers can get really, really sneaky. They can send data that looks perfectly clean, but is intentionally mislabeled to slowly poison the AI's understanding of the world. They can even spoof their identity, making data from a malicious server look like it came from a trusted partner. This is exactly how so-called data poisoning attacks start, by tricking the system into letting bad actors right through the front gate. All right, our data has made it past the outer wall, and it's been vetted by the gatekeeper. It's now officially inside the fortress. But you know what? We're still not done. Now we have to protect it from threats that might already be inside. This brings us to our final, deepest layer of protection, the vault. We're talking about data integrity. Data integrity is all about one thing, making absolutely sure that the clean, verified data we've let into our fortress stays that way. It's about putting a tamper-proof seal on it. Whether that data is being moved around or just sitting in storage, we need total certainty that it hasn't been secretly changed or messed with in any way. In the cybersecurity world, this is done with amazing tools like file integrity monitoring and something called cryptographic hashing. Hashing basically creates a unique digital fingerprint for a piece of data. If even one single bit of that data gets altered, the entire fingerprint changes completely and you know immediately that it's been tampered with. It's like the digital version of a wax seal on an old letter. If that seal is broken, you do not trust what's inside. And honestly, a breach of integrity is maybe the most dangerous threat of them all, because it's an inside job. An attacker could get in and subtly modify data that's already been approved. They could change a few data labels to teach your security AI to ignore their specific kind of attack, or even worse, insert a hidden backdoor. It's a silent, insidious attack that corrupts your AI from the inside out. So, when you look at it all together, you can see that these three practices, cleansing, verification, and integrity, they're not just separate tools you can pick and choose from. No, they are a single, powerful, layered defense system. Together, they form a fortress that can stand strong against these data-centric attacks. So let's just put it all together one more time. Data cleansing is our big outer wall, blocking the basic junk and noise. Then, data verification is our strict gatekeeper, checking credentials to stop imposters and spoofed data. And finally, data integrity is the secure vault deep inside, making sure nothing can be tampered with. See how that works? Each layer builds on the last, stopping more and more sophisticated threats along the way. This, right here, is the key takeaway from all of this. In the age of AI, the entire battlefield has shifted. Attackers are smart. They know that an AI will trust whatever data it's fed. So why would they go through all the trouble of a complex network breach when they can just manipulate the data and let the AI do all the dirty work for them? Which really leaves us with one final, and I think pretty critical thought. We spend so much time and energy building these incredible, complex AI brains. But if that brain will blindly trust anything we feed it, then maybe the most important question we can ask is, who's guarding the kitchen? Because as we've just seen, the only right answer is a fortress built on cleansing, verification, and integrity.